Okay, let me unmute myself. Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another casted game from the CL Jolyu Coral League. I'm Gabblit. Today I have with me here Joshua
Hello.
and Dropout.
Hello.
And we have an amazing game here for you guys, or a set of games. We have the rematch of Girl versus World Regenesis. It's Guys in Real Life versus World Regenesis Esports. It's the rematch of the
Tournament.
previous tournament final. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time, World
Only the
Regenesis
best out of
Esports.
only the best out of two now.
Yes. Two games as we're in regular season. This is going to be hopefully a close one. Last time, World Regenesis Esports did take it 3-0, I believe, from Girl in that finals. However, this time the jungler has been swapped out um, due to new rules and them not wanting to move around their team. A lot of other reasons. They now have a new jungler, so that might have affected their levels a little bit. But what do you guys think about this game?
Oh, so
Uh,
this game. Sorry. I'll just go.
go ahead.
So I think this game is going to be very interesting. They both played against each other. They should know how each other. They're actually pretty close friends. These two teams have come together and they've talked a lot and they played a lot of games with each other. So I imagine these two games to be very competitive. Um, And yeah, that's what I'm going to be seeing. Maybe we're going to see Zabator maybe on some tanks or uh, on other picks. Of course, he is off rolling from jungle, so uh, picking on him would be the best. But yeah,
I'm very curious what World Genesis is gonna do with their new jungle and how they're gonna play around it. Because I think this is the first official game he's in, I believe.
Indeed, it
yes.
is.
So I'm interested to see how they picked up with the new jungle and like what the strats from World Genesis are gonna be.
Indeed, we do actually have what the picks and bans were for game one and game two. Um, so we can see we'll just go through for game one. The bans from Girl were Nautilus, Rakan, Diana in round one, then Kazakhstan in round two. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Are we sure these are the bans? Are we sure we have game one here? Guys, someone chuck me. What did you play in game one? Charles, what did you play in game one? No way this
They
happened
don't even
again.
know.
How is game one the higher number this time? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, we'll fix this. Um, yes. So game one bans were Nautilus, Rakan, Diana, Kha'Zix, and Yi from the side of Girl. And from the side of World Genesis Esports, it was Lulu, Evelyn, Shen, Leona, and Jin. Anything standing out to you guys about those?
A lot of tank bans from WRE. And also, like, I see a lot of support bands. It's like Girl band Nautilus, WE band Leona. So I think they want to play a lot around bots this game. Because the G and the Lulu also got banned from WRE.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys can hear me. Yeah. So I see the Lulu and so they're focusing that bot side and don't want that globals affecting them. Those they don't WRE for example. They don't want the Lulu and the Leona with a strong engage or basically strong engage and disengage supports. And Jin is does a good meta band to go off of. A girl with their bands, the same thing. Um, if you guys know about the lethality Yi going around, I don't know if any the WRE's jungler plays that lethality Yi, but that lethality Yi can be very annoying. But yeah, this game one bands seem pretty normal, pretty conventional bands.
Yeah, the things I noticed are missing, of course, are both the Moo and the Kale, both of which have been picked up by either team. In fact, I'll swap over to our game screen and we can have a look at what was actually picked up by both teams. So we can see for the side of girl, they have Zabutor on the Ornn, Balyit has a Mumu, Preston has TF, Samira is going to answer Mr. Man, and Trollzoe has the Morgana. On the side of World Regenesis, we have Set in the top lane for Illusion, Unfair has that Sejuani, Cheetah in the mid lane has the Kayle, Kai'Sa for the ADC position Titus, and AJ Styles on the Senna. A different look for him. So the things that really stand out to me about this one is Kayle yet again making it through the ban phase and not being the first pick. It was picked up second this time, which it was picked up later on, which means WRE did manage to get their hands on it, preferring that Amumu as their main champion. They also do have Girl do have that on for the scaling. They have a lot of side lane pressure with the TF. My only concern for them is really they do have a bit of a lack of damage right now. With the TF, eventually he'll start to really fall off and he can potentially try and catch someone out on the back line, but when there's that Senna, there's that Kayle both there to help keep people alive, it might be quite hard for him to get some sort of miracle flank off.
Yeah, so I had the wrong game loaded.
Yeah.
It did it.
Yeah,
Gabblit, you aren't streaming, by the way.
I'm not streaming.
Yeah, he
I
is.
can't see the game.
Oh,
No,
you,
not in the-
oh, right. Yeah. Give me a second. It's taken it off apparently.
Well, what I've
I mean, I
seen
could
in this,
stream. I could stream if that helps them out.
yeah,
There we go. Can you see it?
doesn't matter.
We're
Yeah,
just
I can see it.
perfect. We're just a little bit scuffed today.
Well,
It's all fine.
what I see a lot of games this season. I see, of course, I see a lot of kill, but a lot of tank picks. Of course, you see the Sejuani, the Set, the Ornn, the Mumu. There are a lot of aggressive tanks, so I think they're gonna both try to play around those for picks, and of course, WE is gonna look for the scaling from the Kai'Sa and the Kill, and the Senna as well, of course.
Yep, the Morgana is also quite an interesting pick, although it does stop the CC coming through from the Senna. The Black Shield doesn't really provide you much in terms of damage reduction, with the Kai'Sa and Senna doing mainly AD damage. It'll provide a little bit of damage reduction, but not that much. It can stop, of course, a lot of the CC output by the Sejuani or the Set. We'll have to see how that goes for them. I do notice that it is the exhaust for the support of Girl, whereas this side of WRE have that cleanse on the ADC and the heal on that Senna support, just trying to get as much of the healing onto one character as possible. Potentially for the extra healing that could be provided by support items. I doubt it's going to be a support item Senna though.
No, definitely
also,
not.
It's also very interesting. Girl, so he's running Guardian on Morgana, so they're probably just trying to farm in lane and not go for any fights. If I look at the two bot lane, there's probably not gonna be much action. At least the 2v2, of course.
And that's what we always say, and then there's so much action in the bot lane.
Yes, hope everyone is ready for the 5-man bot lane, level 2, let's go. Is there
Alright.
anything else you guys want to point out about either of these teams before we start playing?
I would like to point out, so I know why they picked the Morgana, but it wasn't enough. Like it's not worth it. The Morgana pick. I would actually like the more damaged heavy support, Xerath, something like that, a little bit poke heavy. I understand the Morgana because of the set alt, because of the Sejuani alt during that team fights, and making sure that a Mumu can just waltz right in with spell shield on, land a 5-man alt. But girls comp is very looking sorry, I'm kind of reiterating what you said, but girls comp looks like it's not going to scale that well. As for WRE's comp, looks like it's infinite scaling right now.
It's
But
also
yeah,
very interesting that Preston takes Ignite on TF. It's gonna be
we
yeah.
know
Well, it's
Preston.
Preston.
Yeah.
Preston never like. I would actually like to see the spell book coming out from Preston, but he won't
Alright.
pull that out ever.
Yeah, you'd have to swap off of Ignite or Flash. Not sure which one of those. We'll see the Flash go if that happens. Okay, you
Yep.
guys ready to start? Let's
Yeah,
do a
Yes.
countdown.
that'll be
So
me. 3.
3, 2, 1, go.
One.
All right, sweet.
And
We
as
are
the
in game.
players will now start loading into the game, and I notice we have this on. Can I move that? No, whatever. They've changed how the chat works. Apparently, it's always there now. Perfect.
Yeah, when you do the VOD reviews, it's kind of weird.
Kind of weird. We don't
So
see
it
any
seems,
particularly weird pickups. What do you guys think about the items?
Just pretty standard, I think.
yeah, standard across the board. You definitely see a Kale always running that corrupting pot for sustaining lane and poking, and this to sustain in lane pretty much. Um, Other than that, everything's really straightforward across. Actually, the challenging smite coming up from unfair. That's a little bit interesting because you usually see them go the slowing
Blue smite.
smite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slowing smite. So uh, we're going to probably see the Sejuani play a little bit more aggressively, and that's going to be the difference between these two junglers from their smites. That's what I'm seeing.
I mean, when you're the high CC champion like Sejuani, you can make an argument for why not just take the more damaging smite.
You know,
Take the one with a bit more 1v1 potential.
Well, you regularly see red smite more on assassins and fighty junglers like Xin Zhao or something, or Graves. We see a Mumu starting red and Sejuani starting blue. So they're both at the right side of the map. So it's probably interesting, the 3 minute top fight at Scuttle. That's probably gonna happen.
yeah, it may happen. Might see the always that top scuttle. I actually would want to see the Mumu do a full clear. Your lanes are very passive. I mean, mid can probably get prio, but it doesn't seem like he's getting prio right now through cheater. A little poke coming down from bot lanes. Wow, Q lands on AJ, but nothing's going to come out of that. As I was
That
saying,
money does
so
hit.
um, I think I would want to see a Mumu go for a full clear and go to his bottom scuttle because top scuttle is not going to be for him because Zabator is not winning this top lane whatsoever.
Yeah,
I
see,
mean, I guess you could figure Cetus wins the Ornn matchup. It's just that Ornn is just get him late and get the items, and you get the most out of him.
That's a flash coming
ooh,
out from Ornn.
Zabator taking a lot of damage there. I think you might actually be like a second ahead. Flash
Oh, I
does
am.
come out. Yep.
I'll
Um,
slow down. -5. 06, 07, 08.
We're at 07, 08,
Oh
09,
god.
10,
Yeah.
11. Yep.
Yeah, well, we could we
Just
could
how
we
that
could
works.
see that Sejuani and Amumu are fighting at top
Okay,
side.
there's this fight in the top river. Nice bandage
Okay, yeah.
toss to just get to Illusion. Has to flash over the wall. They're following up. Unfair's come over the wall. They get the passive off from the Sejuani and they easily pick up that first blood. Going down onto the Sejuani. Maybe not the character you wanted on, but it'll help get
I think I
that
think I
gold.
think what girls should have done there is get the prio with Twisted Fate with the red card and the Q, because he does push a little bit faster than kill, and maybe try to join them at 3 minutes or so at the top scuttle.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. TF definitely should have shoved harder and should have went to if they were going to contest that top scuttlecraft, TF should have shoved hard and moved to that top scuttle. Of course, Ornn was pushed on the tower, and I think he wasn't at the fight whatsoever. So
No, he just pushed on their tower.
yeah, he was pushed on the tower, but the Mumu could have just aggroed the scuttle to be closer to mid lane, and Ornn would have had to
Value looking
little
for
jump.
something in this bot lane. Does just get tagged up there. Black Shield is interestingly used to stop that CC. Not sure how worth it is. It's a lot of mana. Puts Troll Zoe quite low.
We can already see that WRE with only 1 kill already has a bit of a gold lead. Of course, it's the first blood gold.
About 700 gold, 500 of that is in the jungle, another 200 in the top lane. Everywhere else about equal. You can see the TF passive really helping him out there. Lots of trading coming down into this mid lane. Preston actually comes out slightly ahead on that trade, but of course the corrupting pots will give Cheetah some more of that healing.
Kill also has the W to regain slowly in lane.
Looks like we might have ganks coming out in this mid lane, both junglers sitting around. Balyeet just now choosing to walk through. Preston is quite far pushed up. They could go for this gank. Cheetah stepping forwards, gets the slowdown. That's a lot of damage put down onto Cheetah. He tries to flash away, but he's already down. Stun comes down onto Preston. That's the black shield to help keep him alive. Nice layering of the stun here onto Unfair. He's down to 250 health. Exhaust is thrown down just to slow him. That's a lot of damage being put down. The tears from the Amumu will eventually take him out, but Trollzoe is just going to use the Dark Binding there to make sure they pick that up. And 2 kills over to the side of Girl.
That was a really good roam by Morgana to realize, hey, Amumu's starting to
hard
move up.
trading in this top lane, actually. Zabatori calls the Forge God. He gets the knock up.
Wow.
And donk. That is one dead set.
As you can see, Seth didn't even shop. He should have shopped. Now he has this pretty bad recall timing. What is happening bot lane now?
Lots of trades and a Dark Binding is put down. That's into the juggle. AJ Styles is very low, 100 health. Flash forward from Mr. Man to just pick that up. He's almost got the ult stack, but he's not level 6 yet. He goes into the tower, and that is him falling. What could have been an amazing play for Girl actually turns around into a loss for them.
I think Girl made a slight mistake here by that Amumu should have went bot side, because mid and bot both had prio, so they could have probably just have gotten the Drake for free.
Yeah. It's just this little macro stuff that's gonna put WRE ahead of Girl. That's the difference between the two teams, especially in macro. When you see WRE is playing, of course, this Sejuani is definitely out jungling this Amumu. And you could just see it by the play right now. You can see they're posturing around this dragon. They're posturing, trying to protect their vision around their jungle. You see Morgana actually moving up, trying to get another gank.
The Dark Binding does come down onto Cheetah, but he will be able to walk out of that one. Fairly high on health. Which also is only level 4.
There's a
Now,
slight XP difference in top lane.
Airslash just bullying Mr. Man out here. Our camera yet again really loves top lane.
Hey.
Every game. Every game, it's like any game there's a tank, it's like, oh yeah, you want to see this tank CS. Dragon is started up by WRE. Does not look like it will be contested. Maybe Trollzoe will try for something.
Yeah, this was his tempo. WRE definitely had tempo on
big
this.
Big trades in this top lane. Zabatori is quite low. Forge God is called, but that's a nice ultimate there from Illusion to dodge the CC and get out of that. He tries to flash away, but TF is also here as well. Balyeet jumps, flashes forwards to take that.
I don't know if Baljeet should have flashed
Oh, they found Sejuani in the jungle bot side. That's a nice Dark Binding into juggle, and they will just force Sejuani out of that jungle and pick up what was left of these Krugs. There's actually quite a lot of gold stacked into the back. Oh, a flash forwards into a binding by Trollzoe. That's a lot to put down, especially when you're not level 6 and you don't have access to the chains. And Unfair will just walk out of that one.
I actually wanted to see Sejuani turn on that. She had ultimate. These two are definitely don't have sums.
That's sums, so you do have to be a little careful of Samira damage. That is the ultimate thrown out from the Sejuani. It completely misses Trollzoe, just sidesteps there. And that's a nice block there from Mr. Man. They will just be able to walk out of this one.
So a couple of scuff plays coming around. They try to turn that around. That didn't really work out. Girl tried to force something on the Sejuani to punish her for stealing Gromp. That wasn't available. There's a little mistakes here and there that these two teams are not getting that they want. There's one thing I really want to point out: this Twisted Fate versus Kale matchup. I thought it was going to be TF favored, but Kale is definitely out farming and
It,
probably out damaging the TF.
it's probably because Preston, with the Ignite, didn't put enough pressure early game, so Kill with TP could just outfarm the TF once she got level 6. Because now Kill can just create prio and get all the objectives for herself and her team.
And that's going to be the thing when we go into late game. If this ever goes into late game, who's going to be able to answer that Kale side lane? No one, really, no one on girls' team can answer for that Kale side lane if they get to that deep into that game. Um, it's going to be really tough to see how girl will play
Ward
this
was
out.
there. Girl should know about that ward there now, so Balyi shouldn't step up into the forwards bush. He is just sitting around. Looks like they do want to try and bait WRE in. This is the famous girl wait for 5 minutes in the bottom bush for a gank. WRE does want to go onto Zabator in this top lane. It is a very tanky Ornn. He will flash away. Ultimate thrown down by this Sejuani. Call of the Forge God is used. The ultimate comes down just to stop it, and Set will easily pick that one up. Balyi has chosen to push this wave in the bot lane with his bot lane. They summon the Rift Herald. Be interested to see if they decide to go for a tower dive. Looks like they want to go for it, but they do miss both of their CCs.
I don't think they will get this tower.
TF is
It
also
depends.
here. Balyi
Yeah.
going forwards. Bandage toss is hit into the ultimate. Jump forward from Mr. Man into the juggle. AJ Styles on 200 health. And Cheetah just jumps straight in. Has to use the Divine Judgment on himself. He is still alive though. That's a lot of damage being put down. Balyi jumps onto Titus in the backline, but he has no mana left, no damage left. Titus now in a 1v4, but he does manage to pick one up. And that is overall a big win for Girl, picking up 3 kills in return
It
for
was
only
such a
1.
close fight though, guys.
Very
I
close.
actually didn't know who was gonna win there. It was such a chaos.
For a second, it did look like Titus was just going to jump in there and turn it around.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if that bandage hit from Baggy onto Mumu, they were going to dive 100% regardless. They have TF ult up. They had tempo on the Kale and they would have dived immediately. But then they switched focus to get the tower, which they didn't even get. So, I mean, they still came out ahead. Girl definitely has a good lead right now, but I want to see what they will do with this lead. Where would they make the mistake?
I'm interested to see how the second Drake is going to be. I hope we see this time that girl tries to take the initiative because they are ahead. So I think they can try to force fights at least because the kill isn't as strong as she's gonna be at late.
Right.
So I think girls should take advantage
Ultra
of
Zoe
that.
being caught out here, Glacial Prison thrown onto him straight away. Only a bit of health left and he is taken out. This is just before the dragon spawns. This is not what you want if you're on the side of Girl. WRE immediately turning towards this dragon, knowing that they can force an unfair fight.
Yeah, I think this is a free drive for WRE.
They
It
have the
was
level
kind of
advantage.
unfortunate. It was really unfortunate that Troll Zoe and Preston, they weren't on the same tempo because Preston was already in base and he was the only one in river and Amumu was like just getting out of his jungle. So he couldn't get any river control.
Oh, Preston now might be caught out. Unfair hit in the middle lane with Cheetah, and they will just run that TF down.
It's a huge shutdown for kill.
Huge shutdown. And now you can see the gold has swung back into WRE's favor after a little bit of mess ups in the early game. This is this little stuff that happens. You got to know your power spikes. Of course, we knew that girl was in the lead right now.
Oh, Bandage Toss onto the blue buff. I think he did manage to get it. Ultimate is thrown down by Balyeet. He will just flash over the wall to get away from that.
Yeah, I guess word.
Overall, mental advantage to Girl. You secured that blue.
Yeah, and you got a Mumu a very big, like what? It's like 90-second ult now? 90? Maybe like 120?
It's a very long ult, and that's already down. Unfair now is just trying to be very unfair and bully poor Balyeet out of the jungle. Bandage Toss is thrown, does miss. Cheetah is also attacking over this wall. TF ult is
Here
used.
comes yeah.
Oof.
Ooh.
But you managed to get the TF ult for virtually nothing there. That's, again, a slight win for the side of WRE. They'll have pushed in this bottom lane. Looks like they will try and just knock the tower down. No, they will back off of this one. Wait for another wave. It is first tower, so it's worth quite a lot of gold. Top lane is also almost gone for the side of Girl, so it's a bit of a race here between top or bottom lane whose tower will die first.
I've seen this build circulating around on the set. It's definitely the Bork rush. Of course you don't have to rush your mythic. Of course that's going to be your biggest power spike, but I've been seeing a lot more champions and streamers and pro players. They're rushing some legendaries that are stronger right now, than your mythics. Of course, Set would want that Bork gives him movement speed. It's still the same, um, but it's not an active, so you don't have to like click it to use Bork. It's a passive. So every third hit, you get a movement speed. It's a 20-second cooldown. And yeah, it's really interesting to see Set running it against two tanks, that's what he needs to get anyway.
Oh, flash forwards from Cholzo into the Dark Binding does manage to force the
There goes the
cleanse, but he's all there by himself. Heal is thrown down. Mr. Man trying to block there. Cholzo
Senna
will
ult?
just...
Probably goes to
Oh,
Senna
Senna
ult.
ult does
Yeah.
come out, and the Dawning Shadow will pick up that kill. And then just back to some nice wet noodling in the top lane.
No, they're still looking
Jolyu
for some
walks
more.
headfirst into Cheetah. He bandage tosses into the middle and does get the 3-man ultimate. Mr. Man has jumped in there, but he's struggling to finish off Titus. The ultimate is thrown down. He is killing them all now. AJ Styles just left.
Let's
He's taken
go.
down. Unfair jumping into the fight. Mr. Man doing what he can, but the stuns are just too much. Preston walking away, not wanting to try that 1v1 into the Sejuani with the finished Sunfire.
I don't know if Mr. Man could have gotten out of that. Like, maybe he could have flashed away. I don't
Flashed
know.
the wall, I think.
Yeah, but Sejuani came over the wall, and she still has flash, so
Yeah,
I think
could have got the flash
she
out.
also eat into such enemy lines. Maybe you could have eat onto the Morgana or Twisted Fate. I don't know who was left there.
Chozo with more roaming is up here towards this top lane, wants to provide just a bit of support. But Zabatul there.
yeah, they're definitely going to set up for this Rift Herald. They want to take this Rift Herald. Let's see if they can actually get. Well, they will be able to get it in time. I actually like these boots now coming out from Trozoi, the mobility boots.
Ooh, why do you like the mobility boots? Is it 'cause
He's
of all the
actually
roaming?
yeah, he's actually roaming. He's actually trying to like be effective for his team, but
Oh, this will be a fight over this Rift Herald. There's all 5 members of WRE here, all 5 members of Girl. And that's an immediate assassination on the backline. Mr. Man's already gone. Zabatl's doing what he can, but he's gone as well. It's just
no.
Preston and Valley left to try and clean this up for the side of Girl, but they're just being decimated, and WRE win the fight.
Girl were
no.
too separated there, right there. They were going separate sides, whilst WE was just crab pinching them together.
Oh man, the young pincer move killed the girl right there.
Yeah,
you
Mr.
could-
Man got
oh.
caught out just on the bottom side where both sources of damage from WRE were, or main sources of damage, and he just got absolutely bursted out. It looks like that will be the third Drake also going to the side of WRE.
WRE's game plan is probably going to be to just shut down the Samira, because if the Samira dies, Girl doesn't have that much of damage, and they probably just win the fight by extending it. So
Automatically.
if they get a pick on Samira, it's probably the end of the fight.
That's definitely true. Like what I said in pre-select. The damage coming out from Girl, it's very lackluster. It's kind of sad that you're going to see this type of damage output being pumped out. Like if we got a screenshot of the damage output at the end of the game, I would not be surprised if they all kind of did the same damage and Samir did at least the most. And then with WRE, Kale did the most damage, and Kale and Samira did the most damage.
You could also
Crystal's
see
doing
a
quite a bit of
slight
damage,
lead.
but-
You could also see a slight lead to CS from WRE at jungle, mid, and bot. especially the bot and mid. Both want to focus on that farm and leveling. The kill should probably focus on splitting right now and TPing when she's needed in a fight.
It's just under a 3k gold lead, and actually most of that lead is at the moment in the Set and the Sejuani, so not really the most effective members to have it in. There is a fight in this top lane breaking out. They're trying to kill the Set, get that 400 shutdown gold. Dawning Shadow does come out to give him a bit of a shield. That is the call of the Forge God used, and all of that gold will go into the pockets of the Ornn.
Oh,
And
what a
Ornn's
shame.
items are starting to come out. He has that Forge Fire crest. What a strange name.
Yeah, these are some weird names now for the Ornn items.
Or items are like every mythic, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, the Dark Binding does go down. This is a 2v1 onto the Kayle, but it is a Kayle. The stun does come out, and they are able to kill Kayle before she uses Divine
Ooh.
Judgment. Meanwhile, there is a 3v2 in this top lane. Bali is going to go down very quickly. Just Zabator left. The flash forwards from Unfair to try and tag up Zabator. There's not much he'll be able to do here as the CC just comes down, absolutely layered down. And he does fall in the end.
Wait, why do teams keep on giving Titus Kaiser? Like, do they think that they can, like, are they disrespecting him and like, all right,
I
you
think
get Kaiser, we're going to get Samira.
it's too many things to ban. I think you don't want to give the other team Jhin, realistically, unless you're going to pick Jhin yourself. And then what I assume you also want to ban, like Malphite, you probably want to ban out a couple of other things. It's
But that's the thing, like, all right, they pick, he gets his Kaiser, right? It doesn't matter what support he gets. This guy has been performing so well on the Kaiser. I think he might be like 6-0 on Kaiser with all the games that he's played in Core League. Teams need to start respecting. Hey, yo, this guy's going, like, this guy plays Kaiser. Just ban it. Like, let him go on Jhin. Let him go on some other champ right now because, right, like, he's performing well. Really well, out CS in the Samira. Of course, probably early game, he kind of got a little hiccups here and there, but I want to see teams start banning this Kaiser and, of course, the Nautilus from AJ. And just
yeah, that's the problem. That's two of your bans already used up there, and then you got to leave up a lot of the stronger picks if you want to do that.
yeah.
But Kai'Sa's also really strong with the
Flash forwards from
Slayer
Preston, he
control.
puts a lot of damage down onto Titus, and he's already dead. Just as we were talking about it. They're trying to go onto AJ as well. Chulzo has found Unfair in this jungle. I'm not sure he really wants to go in on this. Exhaust is thrown down. They're layering the CC, doing what they can, but that's one tanky pig lady. The Banish Toss is thrown down. They do want to keep following this up. Nice dodge from Balyit to not get hit by the CC. Unfair will just jump out of this one.
I like what they did there. There was two people pushing top. They had Set and Kayle top lane doing dumb diddly shit. Sorry, and they collapsed in their
Oh, they've
jungle.
caught Mr. Man though, and there's the engagement from Balyit. He hits 3 with the
There's a
CC. That's
huge
a lot of damage put down
Oh,
already. That's the
man.
ultimate thrown out onto Kayle is flashing away, but she can't get out of this. Illusion is still alive on that Set. He is the main source of damage now. Will he be able to get anything? He dunks down the Amumu, taking him out. Set is just healing up with the help of that Bork. The healing is absolutely disgusting. He just won't die. He finally does go down as he flashes forwards. Trollzoe now trying to put down some damage as well. Unfair picks him up, and it's down to just the 1v1 between Zabator and Unfair. Titus is on the way, and will just pick up that kill with the last hit. And what timing yet again. WRE winning a fight just
It was
before a
Sunfire.
Drake.
It was Sunfire against Sunfire, and the Kaiser came in for the KS. My goodness. But
What
anyway,
bad manners.
but anyway, what I was just saying is, I liked how Girl took the initiative. They saw two topside. They knew about Kaiser mid lane by herself, no Kayle all available. They were aggressive. They took care of Kaiser. And
Oh, and they might be just trying to repeat this. They get the flash out of Titus. And that is the flash gone from the
that's
Kaiser.
what I'm talking about. But they need more of that. They literally need more of that to win this game. And it's going to be tough.
It's gonna be very difficult because WRE also has the Mountain Soul right now, and that's obviously very annoying on a Sejuani in a set. Of course,
Well-
also on the carry.
It's very annoying on all of the less squishy, the more squishy champions as well, because it just makes them a lot harder to burst out. before Kale ult comes down to save them.
Ooh. I
I
think
think what
someone lost
girl
their
is supposed
shopkeeper.
to do, what girl's supposed to do now is try to look for picks or an opportunity to steal or maybe kill them at Baron. I think that's their only shot to bring back this game right now. If I look at the stats
Senna is on
and the
68
chance of,
stacks as well.
Yeah, we see Orn actually building into a frozen heart.
Yeah, wants to
Not
slow down the attack speed from both Cheetah and Titus. Pretty good when two of the... Well, actually all three of the biggest sources of damage from the side of WRE all use attack speed pretty heavily.
yeah. And then another item pickup that I saw, it varies. So I see this Divine Sunderer, and then I see the Eclipse on Senna's a lot. So I don't know which one is meta, but Divine Sunderer is actually really good right now into the Mumu, into that Orn, uh, chunking out that frontline
I
damage.
think Divine Sunderer is actually a little bit better because you do that much more damage against tanks. It
Hmm.
also makes you quite a lot tankier because the healing is quite a lot of healing. So you
Yeah.
get the Divine Thunderer and also the Q healing because it stacks on the Q too.
Honestly, I kind of just think it's a broken item.
As you
Like,
can see, the
oh, and
Sejuani is
here's the
taking no damage
engage.
at
The
all.
Black Shield was a little bit late. Preston is just getting absolutely destroyed here. The Call of the Forge God did go down onto 2, but there's no real damage to follow it up. Mr. Man being zoned out by the Sejuani, and he just can't kill it. Divine Judgment does go down to Sejuani, flashing forwards onto Mr. Man. Mr. Man is down. Pali did manage to get into that backline, doing a little bit of
No.
damage, but there's just nothing
That's
they can
game.
do. The damage was picked up just too early there, and 4 are left on the side of WRE to just escort this wave in. Make that 3.
Yo, Mr. Man, he was he was in his ultimate, and guess who basically stopped all the damage output? Cheater with the ultimate on top of Sejuani. It literally does kind of just nullified it, and that's going to be game. That should be game.
Yep, the auto attacks will just come down here to finish out this game, and that does make it 1-0 to the side of World Regenesis. So, what do you guys think? MVPs?
Well, I think the Sejuani played really well.
Oh yes, without doubt.
I think he just out jungled the Mumu. He was more there for the lanes. He got all the Drake priors. As again you can see that the WRE are just way better at just controlling the dragons and objectives
So,
than Girl right here.
and that's the thing when you compare these two teams, because these are the two. I believe these are the two best teams in the league right now. When you look at WRE, their macro is on point. When you look at Girl, their laning is on point, and when they get a lead, they suffocate you. And you could see how they were like Girls never gave up. They looked for picks, which was a really strong pick that they found on Kaiser and Senna, but it's literally this macro stuff that's happening. That's the difference between Girl and WRE. Literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes in that top scuttle. What happened there? It was it was Diffy in the jungle already. Mumu got double crabbed, and it was rough. It was rough for Mumu, and you could see the CS difference. You could see the kill difference, and you could see the assist. Like it was rough for Mumu playing into the Sejuani. Yeah, my MVP will definitely go to Unfair in this match.
Yeah, I just think that quite a few of them played quite well, but it was mostly the zoning during the team fights from Unfair, and you can see it was kind of just unfair, the Sejuani pick. You just couldn't kill it. There was nothing they could really do. Um, if you do want to shout out in the chat who you think should be MVP, feel free to do so, and that will give the players some happiness, I guess.
Self-confident.
A show of confidence, indeed, indeed. And I'm just going to
I'm going to load up the second game.
update my
Uh,
hidden files
uh,
while I.
tiny little bit of hope that they're not bronze hard stuck like me.
Wait, you're bronze?
No, I'm plat. I'm plat 4. Don't worry.
Oh wait.
Shiny
Yeah,
bronze.
I was about to say what? Oh, no, that's shiny silver.
Oh, right,
Plat
gold is
is
Oh
shiny
yeah,
silver.
shiny silver.
bronze.
Of course. Of
Gold is
course.
literally shiny bronze.
Well, I just load this up, and then we can go towards game 2. Is that the right one? And I do not still
Yeah,
have to
it's the
share in
one with
Discord.
the Malphite.
Perfect. There we go. And then in Discord, let me do
Yeah, I need to look at the
this.
bands.
Uh,
Are you going to put the bands on the screen?
if I had an easy way to do that, I would do that. I don't have an easy way to do that. I should have set something up, really.
I could read them. I could read them out if you want. I have
Yeah,
them
give
here.
us a readout. What was banned this game?
Girl,
Game
game
2,
two.
girl began with the heavy bot lane bans with the Rakan and Nautilus. Almost every team bans these AJ picks. They also banned the Diana, the Morgana, and the Ornn. So they want to delete a lot of engages from WWE,
That's some
as you can
heavy
see.
support focus right there as well.
Uh, World Regenesis has banned Samira, Lulu, Evelyn, Kaisa, and Shen. So Joshua, the Kaisa finally got banned.
Thank
It
you.
got
Finally.
respected.
And in its place, we do have the Jin coming out. Well, it's hard to argue that it's not the best ADC right now, just because of how well it can abuse a lot of the new items.
Oh gosh, I'm just now looking at the comp. Good grief.
MF is actually
It's
rising
true.
in prevalence as well with a
Yeah,
lethality build. Notice how everything's going back to lethality. A lot of fun. I
I
do
mean,
see Kale also made it through again, yet again on the side of WRE, but Girl do
We got
get themselves the Malphite in return.
the Leona's also a pretty good pick right here, because Leona's one of the best supports in the game right now.
yep. Um,
It's interesting to see what happens at bot lane.
yeah, it's a very interesting that I like it how girl bans the Yi, and then this Yi finally makes it way through a draft. Where I think we're about to see this Yi Kale. It's basically like Tarek Yi. It's literally like that. It's going to be atrocious. The scaling is going to be nutty. You do have a good amount of CC from coming out from girl with the Malphite and the Ash
And the
and the
Leona.
so
And
this is
the Oriana ult.
so this is actually so girl drafted right against Jin, but they did not draft right. Like they the Yi got out and the Kales got away from them. So it's
What
kind of unfortunate.
They do have quite a few ways to handle the Yi, just if he gets a QSS. That's going to be kind of hard. So
what I
just to
hope to
sum up,
see.
I was going to say, just to sum up what the picks were, of course, we have Volley, Yi, Kale, Jin, and Sona for the side of World Regenesis. I don't think we've seen AJ Styles play Sona before, or actually Enchanters, so this could be kind of interesting. And on the side of Girl, we have Malphite for Zabator. Bali has that Grace. Then we have Oriana, we have Ashe, and we have Leona. So very quickly, last thoughts, anything you guys want to throw out there before we start this game?
I hope I see Preston get prio in lane early against Akil. I hope they learn their mistake in the first game, that maybe they could fight against the crab. Probably gonna be difficult for a Malphite to get prio against a
Top.
Volibear, but I think Graves as faster clear than Yi. So I think they could use that as an advantage to get a early head start.
Yeah, real quick, I just think that it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough game. That's all.
Okay, so
What
let's do the
what if,
countdown to.
I wanna oh,
Oh, yeah,
I wanna say one more thing.
yeah,
What I've noticed is that WRE is going for mostly late game comps. This game and last game with the Yi, the Kill, the Jin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, and Sona. Holy, Sona's definitely late game. Okay, so let's do the countdown in
Okay.
3, 2, 1,
2,
go.
1.
And so as we load into this game, anything you guys want to see, or anything you think is interesting about these first item pickups?
I definitely don't want to see Balyeet get double scuttle crabbed again, because that was just rough and he was just behind. Because that is very detrimental to a jungler. He's like, I lost I lost top scuttle. I can't get another scuttle.
This
So I want to
this
see
is
a little
actually
bit more aggressiveness.
this is actually very interesting strat. A lot of Jins against high CC supports take a mobility boot. So when they get caught, they could just run away from the fight as fast as they can. It is also used because you get more pots and you could get more poke in between the lane. So
Yeah,
it's
those boots
interesting
of
to see how
swiftness,
he uses that.
they do quite like to start with them. Does speed your build up a little bit, and the extra pots is really good into poke lanes, things that like to pressure early, like the Ashe. Does mean you're a little bit more susceptible to that burst, though.
What I don't like to see from WRE is that they left the gap at top lane. I'm triggered.
What do you mean?
Girl has this too. Like there is a smite gap, like
What do you mean
at
smite
bot
gap?
There,
side.
there's a gap into the jungle, so an invade could have come
Yeah,
down without being spotted. Was not a
Oh yeah, yeah.
perfect 5-man
yeah.
outage.
They both had a hole.
Both sides have started red
Oh.
buff this time. Have to see. I think Preston should already be using his Q really to start to bully Cheetah, but we're not seeing anything being thrown out yet. And he used that passive. I find it quite interesting. He's playing it very passively.
You shouldn't play passive if you run ignite though. You would want those solo picks if possible.
Could just be that he doesn't want to push in early. Oh, a stun coming out in this bottom lane. Cholzoi putting down just a bit of damage into AJ. Meanwhile, Titus did get a good trade-off actually onto Mr. Man. Overall, actually looks to be a slight win for the side of WRE. They did also get the pot out of Mr. Man. Level 2 was picked up though first for the side of Girl. Oh, there's an engage from Trollzo. It actually does hit the Zenith Blade. AJ Styles going very low. Does not look like they want to follow up on that one. Interesting there. If Trollzo had had the Ignite, that could have been a kill. But of course you do want exhaust for stuff like the Yi.
Yeah, we're actually seeing now in the mid lane that it might be a better matchup for Preston into this Kale. I wanted to see if he would play like a melee matchup, like a Yone or something like that. I'm pretty sure. Does he play Yone?
I
I don't
Not
think
sure.
so.
Oh,
A lot of
it's
trades
not.
coming out in this top lane. Does a lot of damage. Zeratul actually coming out on top from those trades. Forces the pot out from Illusion.
As
So
you can see, the Volibear has bullied the Malphite quite a lot.
yeah, it was all that early game. From that, it was early game because Malphite leashed. Volibear had Prio in lane. He couldn't do anything.
Oh, that was the volley thrown out from Ashe there. Would reveal that Girl were in that bush. Yeah, you can see just through that lead in the top lane, there is about a 300 gold advantage right now for the side of WRE. Yeah, it's all that early pressure that Volibear puts down. He is quite an aggressive champion. Here we go, Girl yet again, go for the classic lane gank in the bottom lane.
5 minutes bot lane gank.
But this, I think Bally will just choose to back here. Most likely that wave isn't coming out anytime soon.
It's very interesting that the jungle from WRE and the jungle from Girl both did the same pathing, I think. But Yi is
Oh,
now
big
a
trades
little
in
bit
that top
more
lane. There's
controlling.
also a lot of trades coming down in this bottom lane. Zeratul actually is pretty much fine with the use of his corrupting pot up there. And Sona will slowly heal up just using her W. Jin actually yet to use a pot. Zenith Blade does go down onto AJ Styles. He's put to less than 100 health. And that is First Blood picked up onto the Leona. Dark Harvest is picked up in return by Jin.
AJ should have probably pressed heal there.
He should have probably pressed heal.
Yep, it's something a lot of supports aren't used to having heal. Maybe he forgot that he could have saved himself.
Ooh, that's important. That's really important right there.
That is a very annoying stop on the back. Zabator actually just using that Q on the Malphite as cheese wheel to slowly poke out Illusion now in this top lane.
Oh, we probably might see Graves
I
path
don't
here.
actually
Illusion actually
think
goes in for
Malphite
this
can
trade. There's a
fight,
lot of
though.
damage out from the E. He ends up flashing away. Flash forwards though from Illusion into the W just to pick up that kill. And he does have level 6 now, whereas Balyit is only level 4 at the moment. Did have his Raptors stolen away.
Ooh.
Zoe trying to gank the mid lane there, but not managing to hit anything.
Interesting
TP
traded
coming in
cap
from
from
Balyit. They actually want to do this fight. They did get the slow down. He's doing the follow-up. Zabator is not level 6 though. They don't have any way to
He thought
force
he was going
this.
to hit. He thought he was going to hit level 6 from those minions real quick from
Now he's
Ian.
6. Oh, it was the 2 minions left on 1 health. Meanwhile,
Yes.
WRE has seen Graves up top and they've just turned straight onto this Drake.
Man,
It's again, WRE has again the Drake control.
and he does have the tempo advantage. They
It's just-
push out bot lane. Orianna backs with no TP. Like, it's easy. I think Girl is comfortable with giving up these dragons with how much they're just opening up their jungle. I could say other stuff. Just letting Unfair walk through and just take all these neutral objectives like it's nothing.
Also, he's just spinning in a bush, having fun on Leona. Just Leona things.
They're having a dance party at bot lane.
Just
It's
zoning
very
AJ
interesting
Styles
to know
away
that
from the wave, keeping him on level 4. Zenith Blade to go in. They want to take this fight. AJ Styles already down to 200 health, does use the heal and the flash. That could be important.
Oh,
Unfair now
no.
coming in with that Alpha
Okay.
Strike to just get on top of Mr. Man. The heal was already thrown down. He flashed forwards after AJ Styles, so does not have that to get away. Zoe will just walk out though. Overall, a 1-0 for WRE.
That's actually very good from WRE because they got it on the Yi, so he could scale really hard right now.
It's a lot more gold into his pocket. He's actually picked up an item. I don't know what that is.
What?
It's
rage
the
knife.
item to
Ah,
boost.
yes. More damage, but you can no longer crit.
Pretty much.
It also makes it so your on-hit effects stack twice.
The complete
Every
effect
third,
does. Yeah.
every third attack, I believe.
If we do look at the gold right now, it's just under a 1,000 advantage for World Regenesis, so not that much actually. Most of that advantage, it's actually split pretty evenly across the board. Most of the players having about 200, except for that mid lane, which is equal.
I'm
Yeah.
interested to see if Mr. Man is actually going to use a global Ashe ult.
Yet again, I would have liked to see Preston getting a bit more pressure actually in this mid lane towards that early game, using the fact that Orianna has that passive and can do quite a lot of damage by just throwing the ball around.
I want to actually see from this Ashe to use her hawk shot a little bit more to see where this Yi is at.
Oh, engage up in this top lane. Zabator taking a lot of damage. It's already pretty low. Illusion goes for the ulti, disabled the tower. That's no tower shots coming out. We do get a little bit of a view on the mid lane there as well. He's just trying to walk away. The cheese wheel comes down from Zabator to just walk out of that one. Ends up just getting the volley bear ult.
He swiggity swooties right out of there.
That is a wave that he will be losing though in the top lane.
He also has no TP and Volibear has TP pressure.
They see Balyit on that ward and the bot lane of WRE are just backing off. Orianna might be caught out here.
Oh,
The Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide. Balyit taking a lot of damage from the Jhin. Preston is just picked up in the 1v2. In the back lane, they're trying to go onto Titus, but the Divine Judgment is thrown down to keep him alive. Jhin just will not go down. Leona is now out. And Ashe trying to get away, but nothing Mr. Man can really do here. Not even auto-attacking, just trying to walk out. And that is an absolute disaster for the side of girl.
Titus throws is all just for looks.
He wants to pull out an amazing Jhin ult.
Oh, oh man, that was so unfortunate. They were calling for a dive. It was calling for a dive for bot lane. Of course, they knew it. He walking over a ward.
Man, and he doesn't have sweeper. Ugh. Oh no, it was his.
They actually shouldn't have gone for it too, because the reason that Volibear could have also flashed behind them, or just at the tower. So even if it was a better situation for girl, it would still be a 5v4 for WRE.
I'll be honest, I thought we'd come off directed camera there, but it just decided to watch top lane for like a whole minute in a row of them standing near each other, not doing much.
Are you
They,
going to
they,
see
they,
girl
they
get
should
a?
actually they should actually have a Bami Cinder off where they just stand still and just let them hit each other with the Bami Cinder
Oh,
passive.
unfair is here. He is trying to go onto a Malphite that is a very tanky boy. He chooses to just use the ultimate to try and get away. Ends up having to flash under his tower. He's
Oh
putting down a lot of
no.
damage into Unfair. Unfair should go down to this. He does somehow get out with that Alpha Strike. Very well placed knowledge of where the Alpha Strike will put him out to be able to get out of that one without dying. The thing
I
I
think it's
am
also
noting is
I think it's also interesting that the Yi has taken Ghost instead of Flash.
yes, so you can much better run people down. There, I have noticed they haven't really managed to punish this bot lane too heavily right now for the Sona pick. Pushing in a lot can get you stuff, but it's not the best. G2 is actually just winning the auto attack fight with Preston. Preston not wanting to take that fight. Slow comes down from Balyit as this gank comes in, but they choose not to do anything there. This dragon has been started up.
Oh wow.
The Assault Flare does come down onto Unfair. They do force the TP. However, Troll Zoe is now a little bit out of position. Enchanted Crystal Arrow thrown down by Mr. Man to just try and get him out. Zenith Blade back into the backline
Ooh.
there. It's an amazing ultimate, but there's just no one to follow it up. They don't have the damage to finish anyone off. Mr. Man is now trying to do what he can, but Illusion just zones him out of that. And it just feels like a case of Girl not being on the same page this game. Valiant now having to try and fight a 1v1 against Unfair. And this is just unfair. What are you supposed to do against that?
It's also really unlucky for Girl because WE has the later game comp, so there isn't a big chance that Girl will come back here actually.
Well, it's just so sad. Girl played like first game was so messy. This game is just total opposite. Man, because it's just detrimental as a player. All of us are players. If you see a Yi fed, you're like, oh, what do I do now?
He
And
keeps
then you
running
see a
at me.
kale, and then you have a kale. Like in draft, I would have dodged. I wouldn't even play this match. Honestly, I would not even play this match because you have basically the new Tarek Tarek Yi situation in a tournament. It's just so sad to play against this, and then you have a failed dive. This is a, it's just so sad. I want Girl to just not look at this game, but look at the first game and see what they can improve on because this second game is definitely the showing of the first game of how their mental is.
We can see Girl are picking up some scraps here, but they are now at a 4k gold deficit.
This is gonna be a tough game for Girl to come back. I hope they just
Oh, Trozo
randomly
does hit the Zenith Blade down onto AJ Styles, puts down the Soul Flare as well, and that is one good kill picked up, put into the pockets of the Orianna. This is basically what they need. They just need to pick people out over and over and start to get some of their carries ahead.
So we see Jin actually going with Dustblade. Interesting. I haven't seen that. I've seen Eclipse.
Yeah, I'm
I've seen.
surprised it's not the Eclipse.
Well, Eclipse got nerfed on range carries, so that's why he's going on the Dustblade. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah.
I've only seen Gale Force and Eclipse on Jin.
Oh, Gale Force is pretty nice against. I don't know what type
Right.
of comps too.
Yeah, they changed Duskblade. You don't need to become invisible to proc the damage again now. It's just on a 15-second cooldown. That's not too bad, actually. Herald was put down top and first tower picked up. Meanwhile, everything that's going on, Kale has been able to just push in this mid lane. We'll pick up another tower. Everything's sort of falling apart here for the side of Girl, unfortunately. They did pick up that 1 kill though, so not a perfect game. They picked up 2
I-
kills, even.
I feel like they have to kill every lane at least once just to make sure they don't have a perfect game. Because if someone has a perfect game, it's just so sad. This is definitely
No,
different
but
from.
it's the perfect game is if a team manages to get every objective, well, doesn't lose any objectives and doesn't die, but wins the game.
Oh yeah.
The Leona and the kill flash at the same time. The synergy.
Synergy, good flash there from Kale. Will keep him alive, but that is the flash down on the Kale.
To be honest, I think Kill could have just turned if she had ult. Cause she's not at a point where she can 1v5, but
She
she's
is not.
definitely at the point that she's actually pretty strong.
But World Regenesis just saying, why should we even risk any fights right now? Why not just wait for some more levels, get even stronger, and become absolutely disgusting?
I feel like we should even talk about this game anymore. We should just talk about the draft phase. What should have changed during this draft phase so they wouldn't gotten this Yi and Kale? Like
Kale?
honestly,
I-
you think Kale is the problem?
I
for them?
think every time we've seen Kale, it has just absolutely warped the game. And here we see, another fight going out. Troll Zoe is trying to zone people out on the backline, does keep them out for a little while, but Illusion also doing so much damage. Manages to take out one as he dies. Now Zavator is left to try and get out, actually delivers his team, the Yi to his team. Unfair does go down in the end. That's a massive shutdown now into the pocket of Balyit.
I think.
You might think overall that was a win for World Genesis, but actually
Girl.
with the bounty, that becomes a win for Girl.
Yeah. I think girls should have probably spent less bans on AJ. It is quite annoying that AJ has his engaging type carries, but if you know what he's gonna play, you can always counter pick and play around it.
Right. And of
Oh,
course they
flash force
oh,
from Balyit. He's trying to get another kill, but he will end up going down to this one.
he's only worth 50 gold.
That's pretty sad.
Yo, this game, it's 20 minutes. Roll the FF votes, boys. But yeah, like
I
I
just think at this
understand.
point, if you don't have a solid way to beat a Kale, why are you letting it through? Nice from Preston there, knowing his damage, he's able to pick up another kill.
Hey, Flash Ignite.
Flash Ignite.
There's nothing
mean-
else to lose, man.
I get what girls' whole point of their combo is, but like if they don't get ahead early, they will of course struggle. Especially with the Yi with the kill ult on him.
It's the fact they fell behind. Trollzoe now just trying to kite for Mr. Man. There's also a fight in the jungle. Balyit just gets taken
Jeez.
out by the Yi. And here comes Yi
Jesus.
into the backline. Almost one-shots Mr.
Oh,
Man. A nice ultimate
but
from
look.
Malphite keeps him alive. But there's the
Oh
Kale
my
ultimate
God.
running straight onto Preston as well. And
Master Yi's fun.
Literally the most toxic ass comp that I've seen. One of the
oh,
toxic comps
wait
I've seen.
until a team pulls out the Tarek as well. I have a feeling there comes the surrender.
Oh, there's the
I'm not too surprised about that one.
Bro.
Honestly, I think teams should just stop letting Kale through unless they are going to
when
pick it themselves.
when I played through Kale, that was fine. I just entered the lane. All right. So there are times where you can abuse the Kale really well, and you can win against the Kale. But if you get behind by the slightest, it's basically over. Yeah. I know what you were trying to say about girls comp. Like they need to stack all their CC. They needed a 5v5 to even probably look remotely coming back into this game, the second game. Stacking that CC on that like multiple source CC because only kill ult can hit one person, right? And of course you might put all your CC on Yi. He gets kill ulted, but then Kale is vulnerable. You have Jin that's vulnerable. You have the Malf. That's why they chose the Malphite so he can get into backline, hit that Jin, um, with the Ori ball. But yeah, that didn't really work out.
I
The main
I
problem I'm
don't know. I
having.
mean,
Oh, go ahead.
Jin kind of undermines the whole. I mean, Yi kind of undermines the whole Malphite. If Malphite goes on Jin, if Yi is kind of fat, he can
Oh,
literally just run at the back line, and even if he just gets one kill, he did his job.
right.
So yeah, the main reason I'm saying people just need to stop banning the kale is we haven't really seen much abuse of it yet. And this is the problem. You can't just go even with it or have a very slight advantage going into that mid game. That's not good enough. You need to be able to absolutely smash this kale during lane and convert that into leads somewhere else. And if you
And it has to
can't
be
do that,
early.
don't let it through because you are just letting them pick a scaling pick. It's like allowing someone to pick an Ornn and just letting them lane for free. You don't pick
Right.
anything to stop the Ornn. Or what's another good champion that works the same?
Timo
Same
top
analogy.
lane, let's go.
Oh god.
Black.
Yeah, maybe. So
Black.
what this does for our standings, World Genesis, of course, had this was their first series of games. They had break week the first week, so that does put them at 2 wins with 2 played alongside Team Bruv. Guys in real life also have 2 wins, but they have now played 4 games. So just below there, SAS Arctic and Vengeance both lost their first games. They are yet to play their second games. We've worked something out with them. They're going to try and play it sometime in the next 3 weeks or so, while the rest of the league's going on. So that will come at some point. Meanwhile, on the other side, so obviously Ocean League, one to look forward to for in the future. World Genesis versus Team Brov, currently our top 2 standing teams. Watch out for that one. In the River League, we currently have Madly Mediocre sitting on their own at the top of the table, followed up by TLH, who have 2 wins. Both of these teams, though, having played 4 games. SAS Desert, having only played 2 games but picked up 1 win, are just behind. They had their break week this week, and Valkyrie 5 and Young Prodigies played this week. We will be casting them tomorrow, so you guys will find out what happens there tomorrow.
I'm actually really excited about the Team Bruv WRE game because I think that game is actually gonna be quite interesting.
And in fact, we do have it coming up this week. The games that you guys can expect to see this week, we do have Vengeance Esports versus Guys in Real Life. So Vengeance Esports had a bit of an awkward showing in their first match. We'll get to see if that was just a bit of the first game wobbles or whether it's something bigger as they come up against Guys in Real Life. We also have World Regenesis versus Team Brov. Definitely one to watch. See if Team Brov have come here to topple our top tier teams and take the league for themselves. On the other side, in the river bracket, we have TLH versus Young Prodigies. Young Prodigies, we don't know how they did this week, but it's looking like potentially one of the slightly weaker teams. So will they be able to upset TLH's streak of going 1-0? 1-1? We'll have to see. Will TLH continue their streak of going 1-1? We'll find out this week. Valkyrie
The
5 are
1-1
also
warrior.
playing SAS Desert. So to see whether SAS Desert can catch back up to the top there, or whether Valkyrie 5 will push on ahead of them. We will see tomorrow how Valkyrie 5 versus Young Prodigies went, so we will have a bit more info on that setup. Any of those games you guys really looking forward to? Of course, we already mentioned World Regenesis Team Bruv. Yes, no, not,
No,
not, no.
I do, but I'm waiting for him.
I'm looking forward to the Sus Day V5 game because I'm going to be the support for Sus Desert. Ooh.
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
here we go. A bit of spiciness here.
I mean, let's be real. I think River League is a little bit more exciting than the Ocean League. Let's be like, it's a little bit more spicy
It
up in there.
feels
Like,
very
yeah,
close.
because Ocean League, you just got complete stomps on the other side, you know. So like, but anyway, I'm more, of course, I'm excited for WRE and Team Bruv. Girl is, I don't know what happened to them, but with the Ocean League, that's the only two teams that I'm kind of looking like wanting to look at the games. Maybe venture into esports a little bit too. But I mean, I'm really like a lot of people don't know, but Valkyrie Fire is actually a pretty good team. They were on a bye week, and
First
I
week.
know
Yeah.
I know a couple players on their teams, and they're actually really good. So I'm really excited for any matches against Valkyrie 5. I know we're going to be facing them. I know this week is our bye week, but I
Yes.
think the following
Next
week
week,
we're going to be
right?
facing them. And I'm really excited to face George in the top lane and you know, have a nice little duel.
So there we go, things to watch out for. So far, I have not heard anything from any of the teams about when they will be playing this week. Hopefully, they'll get back to me at some point. I think there is a clash this weekend, actually, so we'll have to see whether the games are organized around Clash or if they're Clash with Clash. I think we might get some fun. I don't know. We'll see. So yes, thank you everyone for coming to watch this. Thanks to both my casters. Thanks Joshua for casting with me.
Yeah, no problem. I actually have
Thank.
a question for
Oh
you.
yeah, go ahead.
So, and not might just be me, but maybe a lot of other players. So, who, how does this? So, are we only doing it through wins, or is it like wins and losses per team to see where they get bracketed? Like, is a win like okay, they're up one, they're in the top of the brackets, or that type of stuff, or like,
Yeah.
can you
So
explain for the viewers?
realistically, at the moment, it's wins puts you up if you have the same amount of wins as someone. People who have played more go down because it means they have more losses. Um, Otherwise, it doesn't really matter for the moment. People that are on the same one, I guess if there's a head-to-head, whoever's ahead will go above. It is all in the rules, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
Can
sure
we
it's
see
written.
the losses at least? Because we only see wins, we don't see losses, and we can just see they played twice. I think the played is really confusing me.
Okay, yeah. I
There
can look
are
at soft.
losses actually. I think there actually is like at standings. Let me find it.
No, I
Nope.
mean doesn't this template right here, like we see played and then we see wins, but we don't see the losses.
Yeah, cool. I
I
can
Right.
mean,
add
So if
losses
like
in.
so
I
they played.
mean, you could probably just count that if you like look at the games played, and if it says like if you have 4 games played, like TLH, we have 4 games played. We won 2, so that means we also lost 2. Th- that's
Yeah,
how like
I can add in a
yeah.
losses tab though. It'll take me a little while. I'll get round to it when I get a chance. Probably won't be here for tomorrow. It'll be when I have a night without doing anything.
That's fine.
But I will add that in. Oh yeah. So as I was saying, thanks for casting with me, and thanks Dropout for casting with me. First time casting. How do you feel about it?
I don't know. I'm very awkward.
Very awkward. That's okay. You did fine. Um, So thanks to everyone for coming and watching. For those captains and your teams, please organize your games. Let's try not to have 3 at the same time again, if possible. That would be great, because I'd love to cast them live. It makes it slightly easier, um,
And more fun, to be
and
honest.
more fun. Yeah, it's much more fun to join and see the game going on live. So
Yeah, also makes it so you don't have spoilers.
yeah, because games can get spoiled pretty easily. So yes, thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.